The LIAC is still only half of what it was during its 2013 peak of 20 cents, and it remained at a low 8 cents throughout 2016. And GPA says it could have asked for a higher adjustment, but to avoid rate shock sought one that only covers 50% of its growing fuel costs. General Manager John Beneventi.
We were able to cut costs in other areas. We were able to get some money from the insurance proceeds that is related to extra expenses to help alleviate some of this cost.
Beneventi says fuel prices have jumped from about $30 a barrel a year ago to $55 today. If costs continue to climb, another rate hike is likely when the next LIAC adjustment period comes up in 6 months.
There's so much uncertainty. We don't see it jumping all the way to $110 a barrel over the next month, but certainly we hope, we hope for the better for all of us, all the consumers.
In the long run, Beneventi says, alternative energy such as solar could play a big role in mitigating fossil fuel price volatility.
As we look forward, as renewable prices, utility scale renewables begin to decrease, and they start being at LIAC or close to LIAC here, then that price now becomes a good hedge.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The Guam Waterworks Authority, in other news, went before the legislature Thursday evening addressing issues over water and wastewater rates in light of a recent Office of Public Accountability audit on water leakage. The OPA report does note as water rates rise, more than 58% of water pumped out of the ground is not accounted for in customer meters. GWA contends the leakage is slightly lower, yet it is well above the acceptable industry standard of 10%. Acting GM Tomas Cruz says while the audit accounts for more than 8 billion gallons of water lost in 2016, a previous assessment years ago showed a far lower number.
That the data is being used to kind of, the results of that, we'll say that field work, if I recall correctly, and I might be mistaken, was roughly there was like 5 million gallons, of loss related to the leakage in the pipes.
Okay.
And that was, I'm going to say,
what year was that?
2011, 12.
Meanwhile, as far as an increase in rates, GEO notes as part of its 5-year rate plan, it proposes an increase of 4% for 2017, but that still needs to go through the approval process with the PUC and CCU. The Utilities Committee will hold a second information briefing on February the 6th at 5:30 in the afternoon downtown.
Opening statements are scheduled to get underway on Monday for former police officer Mark Torrey Jr., who stands trial for murder. Defense attorney Jay Arreola confirms a jury was impaneled today and sworn in. Torrey was charged for the July 2015 shooting death of police officer Albert Piolo. Both officers were off duty at the time of this shooting that occurred outside Torrey's home in Chico. Opening statements are scheduled for 9 o'clock in the morning. There's a new commander of Joint Region Marianas after Rear Admiral Bet Bolivar handed over command to Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield during a ceremony at the FD Phoenix Center in Mingilao.
It's without a doubt that Rear Admiral Bet Bolivar will be missed. From the moment she touched down on Guam 3 years ago, she fell in love.
It was at that very moment I knew I was home.
Over the years, she built relationships with not just those she commanded, but the island community. She lived the One Guam attitude.
To the people of Guam, there are no words that can even begin to express my gratitude for opening your homes, inviting us to your lives, and calling us your family. I will never forget you. In my heart, you will always remain.
And with all ceremonious change of commands, local dignitaries and off-island military officials attended. Aside from her family flying over 8,000 miles to join her and give the keynote speech was her friend and former Secretary of the Navy, James Webb Jr.
Wherever she has been, since she's been in the Navy, she gets things done. She works with people, she reaches out to people, she's got that can-do attitude, emails with 4 exclamation points on them.
Under her leadership, Joint Region Marianas met its mission of enabling the warfighter and supporting military families, while building regional partnerships and spearheading the One Guam initiative. U.S. Pacific Command Deputy Commander Lieutenant General Anthony Crutchfield flew in to congratulate Rear Admiral Bolivar for a job well done in keeping the nation's defense ready in this part of the world.
4 of the 5 strategic challenges facing our nation today, ISIL, North Korea, China, and Russia, exists right here in this region where you live. Those threats are geographically closer to Guam than they are the rest of the homeland. At Pacific Command, defending the homeland is our #1 responsibility. And defending this beautiful island is included in Job 1.
While everyone said bye to Bet, the island says welcome home to Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield. She previously served as a commanding officer of Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 25, the Island Knights. Rear Admiral Chatfield returns to Guam after serving as the U.S. Deputy Military Representative to the NATO Military Committee in Brussels, Belgium. During the ceremony, she said, "It's good to be home." Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
Speaking of our friends in uniform, you can expect to see increased military activity over the weekend as the U.S. Marine Corps' 31st Expeditionary Unit will be conducting a realistic urban training exercise until early February. Roughly 80 Marines will be participating in the exercise, and the public can expect to see men in uniform, helicopters, and hear loud noises. The most visible operations will take place at the Tangisan Power Plant on January 30th and down at the Governor's Complex at Adelup on February 2nd. Bystanders are allowed to take pictures and videos, but the immediate exercise area will be sectioned off by officers from GPD.
Governor DeCalvo commutes another sentence. Ignatius Jeremy Fathagag has been serving time for criminal sexual conduct since 2012 and was scheduled to be released in 3 years. With his commutation, this initiates his transfer from DEPCOR to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement for deportation. This case marks the 22nd commutation for either voluntary removal or deportation. Of that number, 18 have since been moved off island. On average, you and I pay about $119 a day to house each inmate and detainee. Once the criminal is transferred to federal custody, they take on that expense.
After months of delay, the over 200-page economic impact study on the last minimum wage increase has been submitted to the Department of Labor by Market Research and Development. The study was actually due in March, but was pushed back due to funding concerns and then was delayed yet again last month after the company had trouble getting complete business information due to the holiday break. DOL will now review the study and solicit input from the Bureau of Stats and Plans, as well as the island's chief economist, before submitting it to the legislature. The study comes exactly a week after Governor Calvo vetoed Bill 312 and then introduced his own legislation to raise the island's minimum wage to $9.20. This, however, is dependent on the wage study and whether such an increase may be accomplished responsibly. The Department of Labor, it states, must certify after reading the report that most employers would not reduce their workforce, benefits, or hours for their employees, nor will they sacrifice wage increases to non-minimum wage as well as non-managerial staffers.
Some good news. More tax refunds were sent in the mail today. The governor's office confirming about $2.3 million in tax refunds were paid out for error-free returns filed up to December 31st. This latest payout totals up to 788 checks. Adelup confirms there are still error returns that need to be cleared before being paid. As for the new tax year, DOA says they expect to make the payments as early as late February and early March, depending on cash flow. Revenue Tax reports that over 3,000 people have already filed their tax returns.
In other island news headlines this evening, the Concerned Catholics of Guam organization is asking the Presbyteral Council to put more pressure on the issues surrounding the formation of priests over in Jonia at the Redemptus Mater Seminary. The organization sent a letter to the council on Thursday with Vice President Andrew Camacho stating that a minor seminary would better suit Guam as well as the needs of the community.
Council to take the issues of the seminary to Archbishop Burns and stress the importance of if Guam must have a seminary, it needs to follow certain criteria. Does Guam need medical doctors? Well, the answer, of course, is absolutely. Can Guam afford to build and maintain its own medical school? even though we have a lot of local people who are in the medical field.
Archbishop Michael Burns returned to Guam from Detroit earlier this week, with the concerned Catholics of Guam hoping to meet with him soon to discuss their concerns. Check out the letter at KUAM.com.
We're back with more news after this.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming, KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
When we face an uncertain path, when we struggle with life's challenges, and when the unexpected happens, it's a beautiful day. We rely on the people we trust, it's a beautiful, who we can always count on, and the ones who give us the most care throughout the years. Rely on Calvo's Select Care to give you the comfort and security you need wherever you are. Calvo's Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you.
Two things come to play when talking about mobile data: price and speed. Let's look at what happens when we compare the competition against iTeeny's $80 plan. Docomo's $79 plan comes with 6 gigs. iTeeny's $80 plan comes with 20. GTA's $80 plan comes with 10 gigs. Better, but you get twice as much at iTeeny. iTeeny has the best network and the data to back it up. Get unlimited talk and text and 20 gigabytes for $80 at iTeeny. Oh, and if you bring your own device, get 40 gigs.
Is your old ride letting you down? Then play Micronesia Mall's Ride Away Flyaway game and win 3 rides from Triple J Auto Group, plus 30 flyaways to Manila on Philippine Airlines. Just present mall receipts to enter and win the 2017 Kia Soul, the 2017 Mazda 3 Sport, the 2017 Kia Forte, and instant prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker. Shop and win more cars, trips, and prizes when you play Micronesia Mall's Ride Away Flyaway game.
The Down Syndrome Association of Guam exists to support families of individuals with Down syndrome. We're a group of parents who have children with Down syndrome and know the joys and challenges of raising them. For more information about the health, development, and education of a child or adult with Down syndrome, please contact Vicky Areola at 472-6114.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Afternoon and welcome back. Healthcare professionals are discussing ways to battle an opiate epidemic, which is becoming a growing problem here at home.
We're seeing a lot more of the opiate epidemic. We're seeing it in the States, and we're seeing it spill over in Guam.
Associate Hospital Administrator for Medical Services at the Guam Memorial Hospital, Dr. Vincent Duenas, says GMH is looking at ways to help mitigate the rising incidences of opiate use and addiction on island.
I think we need to kind of help look at this and be aggressive, because it's coming and we're already seeing it.
The United States has been battling an opioid epidemic for several years. In fact, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, between 2010 and 2015, heroin-related deaths in the U.S. more than tripled, with nearly 13,000 heroin-related deaths in 2015. The issue stems from more than just the use of illegal narcotics like heroin, but also the abuse of prescription drugs such as oxycodone, codeine, morphine, and others.
We are looking at a medically assisted opiate withdrawal program for those who come to GMH. These patients come to GMH, and now we got to work with them. And so we have a hospice working who was familiar with this program, and see what we can do at GMH.
But while the hospital is hoping to develop a program in-house, Dr. Duenas said the problem is what happens after patients are released. He noted Guam has no practicing addiction specialist that he's aware of, and while drugs such as methadone can be used to help patients with addiction, it must be administered in a program setting. Nevertheless, GMH is taking steps to help address the issue. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
Well, late last year, Public Health raised concerns over the high reimbursements rate when it comes to Medicaid and MIP at the Guam Regional Medical City. The concern eventually led to a notice of termination for its Medicaid and MIP provider contract. Yet today, Public Health issued a release that effective immediately, all Guam Medicaid and MIP beneficiaries that program covered for inpatient and outpatient services rendered at GRMC will be reimbursed. In response, CEO Margaret Bengzon says she is pleased with the decision to rescind the earlier termination of the agreement and the restrictions on coverage. She says, and I quote, Public Health has recognized that their initial interpretation of their obligations under the provider agreement and the Guam state plan was flawed, end quote, adding, this is a complex issue and resolution rests in substantial healthcare reform, which GRMC will partner with Public Health and GovGuam to do so.
While the investigation into allegations of child abuse at Price Elementary School are ongoing, officials are working to better understand the strategies associated with a stability chair used in a large number of Head Start programs. Deputy Superintendent Chris Anderson.
This is the first time this particular chair was being introduced to the HP Price Elementary School Head Start classroom. But this chair is primarily designed to give additional supports to kids of that age who may be having difficulty with their balance and their size. So this chair is not a high chair, but it's a chair that's got more stability and has arms that give the child a little bit more stability in the chair. The chair is used for any of the students who may need that kind of additional support. But again, the details of a strap that was used in the chair is something that Ms. Schroeder has acknowledged.
While Division Administrator for Head Start Catherine Schroeder said straps constitute a strategy used to provide additional support, Anderson said DOE is investigating the recommendation for using that type of strategy in the classroom. Last week, a parent of a 5-year-old autistic child filed a child abuse complaint with DOE and the police department alleging that his son was strapped in the chair, was not allowed to use a bathroom, and then urinated on himself.
Well, it has experienced rough waters over the years, but the dream to renovate and expand the Guam Fisherman's Co-op is now afloat and closer to becoming reality. And as Ken continues to report, the long-awaited groundbreaking is finally set for this weekend.
It's an over 4,000-year-old tradition Manny Duenas does not want to risk losing.
So you got to remember that fishing is a tradition we should perpetuate.
And according to the Guam Fisherman's Co-op president, one way to keep that tradition alive is through efforts to expand and renovate the Fisherman's Co-op facility in our island capital.
It's our dream since 1998, I believe, and we call it the Vision 2000, but it's actually Vision 2017, I guess. So we're really excited and we're really looking forward to the groundbreaking and the actual construction.
The project has been years in the making. In fact, back in 2014, the Fisherman's Co-op and GITA signed a memorandum of understanding for the construction, repair, and improvements of the new facility.
That includes the 220-foot seawall, which will be a docking area for the larger vessels, not only fishing vessels, but charter vessels and dolphin watch vessels. Everybody's looking forward to that part of the facility. And then about 6,000, 7,000 square feet of our operational facility.
As for the delay, like most projects, Duenas says it was funding.
The problem we've had over the years is the price of the construction itself. Everything was pretty high for us, and the funds that we had available was not enough to. But right now we're working with a contractor that's working with us to try and reduce our costs and try to get it within budget.
About a decade ago, the project was estimated over $3 million, but has since doubled to $6 million. Duenas says because the project is near the ocean, regulatory and permit requirements increase the costs. Funding for the project is through GITA's hot bonds and private financing. He adds while the co-op gets anywhere from 300 to 400 visitors a day, this project is more than just a tourist attraction, but rather a much-needed home for fishermen and people who want to educate themselves about the industry.
It's a central place for all fishermen to become a member and share their catch. But the most important part is the educational and outreach with the community. Too many times we go to community centers and to have meetings or do presentation. The federal government has research vessels that are out here all the time, and their scientists want to share the information they have. University of Guam also. We like to develop collaboration between the different agencies.
The groundbreaking is set for Saturday at 5 p.m. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.
It's required through public law, and today senators in the Guam legislature went through ethics and government training. The course was facilitated by University of Guam professors Ron Uggan and Bob Cruz. New and returning senators participated in training that went over ethical scenarios, along with ethic laws, lobbying, procurement, fiduciary responsibility, and freedom of information. Elected officials are mandated to take the course within 90 days of taking office and requires that refresher courses be taken at least once every 4 years.
Well, every year the Guam Homeless Coalition holds a point-in-time count to get a better understanding of the population who either live without a roof over their heads or live in substandard housing. Crystal Paco explains in this next story.
The numbers count.
We're going around counting the street homeless as well as the folks living in inadequate housing.
Steve Pangilinan and Greg Calvo are just some of the 300 volunteers who participated in the Guam Homeless Coalition's point-in-time count on Friday. Pangilinan and his group were assigned to Mataguac, Jigo, while Calvo explored Lower and Central Tamuning.
It's present on Guam. It's still here. Because they're in the shadows, many or in the fringes, we don't hear about it until we actually do the count. So the count's very, very critical.
Calvo counted 4 homeless in his area, and he's happy to report that it appears more homeless may be finding shelter.
We're finding in the beach areas that a number of what used to be regular homeless sites in the past, it looks like now they're not being frequented, which means now that at least they're coming out of the I guess, out in the natural elements that, causes rain. And I mean, when it rains, then they get exposed.
Oftentimes, those shelters aren't intended for human habitation. That's what Pangilinan observed up north, where he counted at least 5 substandard homes. Now in his 3rd year participating in the homeless count, he's realized it can happen to anyone.
Some of them it's a choice. Some of them it's just a series of bad events that they wind up homeless. It could be a loss of job, an injury. It could be incident in the family. So yeah, anyone in ordinary life can wind up homeless if the situation winds up that way. So you never know.
The data collection is necessary not only to learn more about the characteristics of those who are homeless, but also to provide data to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in order to apply for grant funding, which supports homeless shelters, programs like the Lighthouse Recovery Center, and other programs for teens and children. The residents who participated in the survey received bags full of hygiene products, as well as non-perishable foods. Participants were also directed to services for medical insurance, housing, and food stamps.
We just met someone today. He says he applied for everything. He's not employed, but was turned down. So we want to get that guy reassessed, maybe, just to see what happened. Maybe he's eligible now.
The homeless count started at 3 a.m. Friday and is anticipated to run through midnight tonight. For more information on the Guam Homeless Coalition, you can call Amor Say at 475-1406. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Your birthday shout-outs are coming up, but before that, sports, and before that, weather. As in now.
Thank you for an amazing year. This 2017, get ready for suspense, romance, drama, action. So bring on the new year. We are ready to capture more moments with you. Happy New Year from GTA.
Start this year with something new in your driveway during Cars Plus Something New sales event. Make a resolution to expand your horizons with Jeep, the most awarded best-selling SUV brand. Like a Jeep Renegade or Jeep Compass, your choice. Save up to $4,000 or save $4,500 off a Jeep Grand Cherokee. How about the Jeep Cherokee 75th Anniversary Edition with savings up to $5,500 off. Stop in today for quick and easy financing. It's our Something New sales event going on now at Cars Plus and My Team. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Chuck E. Cheese's Guam is not all fun and games. Our pizza is delicious with the freshest toppings, oven-baked to order. Try the fresh salad bar, sandwiches, and don't forget our mouth-watering wings. Come and eat at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
The Shop Guam E-Festival is back and better than ever. GBB has teamed up with over 100 Shop Guam vendors to give you access to hundreds of deals and discounts. Download the free Shop Guam mobile app and get real-time alerts on offers nearest you to dine, shop, play, and save. So many great deals to enjoy until February 4th. Download the app today. The Shop Guam E-Festival is a GBB signature event, making Guam a better place to live, work, and visit.
Hey, you been sale shopping, Jerry?
Yeah, starting the year off right. Saved hundreds. How about you?
Yeah, getting a fresh start myself.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You're into that kind of thing.
Your GMC dealer has a better way to start off the new year. Trade up to GMC Sierra for the new year. Get nearly $7,600 total value on a specially equipped brand new 2017 Sierra SLT Crew Cab model. Visit AutoSpot GMC today.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Today, Guam, Chris Barnett with Sports Business. Woo! Friday, woo! Talumbiai rocking the Sinai. Got a big, huge show for you coming up. Some youth tennis news. But first, as we do every Friday, it's time for our Dow Rent to Own Athlete of the Week. All right, Dow Rent Zone here in Dedito. We're on special. Rent 1 week, get one free. It's Rogo. Rent one, get one. And our Athlete of the Week presentation this week, our Athlete of the Week, St. John's Knight and U18 national team player for basketball, Michael Min. Congrats, Mike.
Thank you.
And with a special message here, Lonnie.
Congratulations, Michael, for being Dow Rent to Own's Athlete of the Week. Who will you be donating the check to?
Oh, I'll be donating it to the American Red Cross.
All right, Michael. So you're part of the St. John's Knights team. A lot of expectations this season as the preseason tournament champions. A little bit of a stutter step now. You guys are 1-2, but hoping you can regroup. And how's the rest of the season looking for you guys? And let's talk a little bit about how the mental game plays into your success on the court.
Yeah, coming into the season, winning a championship for the preseason tournament, everybody's got eyes on us. But we're stumbling right now. We're 1-2, but in a way, we're looking at it as a positive way of settling our problems right now and figuring out our problems and getting it done for the rest of the season.
Let's talk about that U18 national team for Guam. You guys went down to Fiji, and you actually made an all-star for the all-tournament team. What was that like, and what was the competition like down there?
Right. It was in the whole Oceania region. It was awesome to come together, the whole island, to place third. It was great. Getting named the all-tournament team, it was amazing. Probably one of my biggest accomplishments because, man, I was one of the 5 people in the whole tournament with Australia and New Zealand to get named the top 5, and it was great.
Yeah, and especially, with you working on your skills. I know you've gone off island to some, really big training camps, but facing much taller opponents and to be able to come through like that and really shine for Guam must have made you proud.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at every level, we should be able to compete, and I tried my best.
Well, there you go, man. You keep striving, brother. Our Athlete of the Week, Michael Mann of the St. John's Knights. On behalf of Lonnie Girl, you come through Down Rent Zone. Rogo, rent one, get one free.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by
Tennis Academy of Guam, was supported by the Guam National Tennis Federation, bringing back its U12 Tennis Playdate program. The program running from January 28th through March 18th at the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort Tennis Courts. All youth born between 2005 and 2010 invited to participate in the weekly program for free. Now, to keep the sport fun, players use a shorter court format. Equipment is provided during each play day with youth-sized rackets of varying sizes based on the player's age and low-compression tennis balls, which are ideal for youth players. Players will be divided into U8, U10, and U12 age divisions. Now, players need to wear tennis shoes on the court and bring your own beverages. BYOB, the Spring 2017 program begins 8 a.m. Saturday. All right, make sure you wear your tennis shoes. No Zori allowed on the court, okay? Hey, my name's Chris. On behalf of our sports director, Dave Delgado, have a great Friday. Woohoo, business! And a great weekend. You keep on shining, Guam. Thanks for watching. Adios!
Q50 holding short runway 19 right. Q50, do you copy? 227, runway 19 right. Roger that. Q50, clear for takeoff? Clear for takeoff.
The 2016 Q50 from Infinity.
B-I-G-M-A-C, get it, B-I-G-M-A-C. Oh, you got a fresh fade? Close the big deal today? Got that old school flow? You just came into some dough? Beat the boss? Need that special sauce? Oh, found your keys, hit some threes, love melted cheese? Whoa! Juicy, cheesy, iconic Big Mac. Now in 3 sizes, but only for a limited time. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Get ready to take flight at the 2017 United Airlines Guam Marathon, April 9th. Register now for the 5K, 10K, half, and full marathon. 4 races in one great event. Run in paradise with thousands of local and international runners. Enjoy new features such as the Holiday Expo, the Barbecue Beach Party, and the upcoming Runners Perk program, Eat, Shop, Run. Learn more. Visit our Facebook or Instagram and register now at UnitedGuamMarathon.com.
Get it.
Oh my God.
We all live for football. And we're headed to the playoff. Life is a sport. The Ford Escape. Be unstoppable.
All right, everybody. Tonight's episode of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. These shout-outs are dedicated to the fine men and women at the Cars Plus Parts Department. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. All right. First up, happy birthday to David. This comes from your wife and family. Also, happy birthday tonight to Landon Messiah Kitachai. Happy 2nd birthday. This comes from Mommy and Daddy. Jacob Arson Pestanas Kinata. Happy 13th birthday to you. And this comes from your mom and dad. Josh Tikenko. Love the family. Everybody knows Josh. That's a picture of, I believe, Iceland, where he visited recently. That's a good shot of him. Love the familia and the worst case scenario crew. Awesome, I think. And Biba cumpleaños to Papa Jigo, and this comes from your familia. Anybody is welcome, and everybody is welcome to be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just go to KUAM.com and register, because one of you may win an ice cream cake courtesy of Cold Stone Creamery, and the winner of this week is yeah, I said that right, is Jayliana Joy Duenas, whose birthday was on Sunday, January 22nd. Congratulations and happy extended birthday. Once again, we will be contacting you and let you know how you can redeem your yummy prize. Stay tuned. We got a really good show. Extra is next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
All right, half a day, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. Thanks so much for watching the show. Your island weekend starts in a huge way tomorrow, because Saturday is going to be Islandwide Beautification Day. That is when Guamanians from throughout the community come together and they clean up Guam. It's not my island. It's not your island. It's our island. And Nick Rowan and Major Manny Chong are here, and we are talking about this wonderful event. Half a day. Thanks for joining me.
Half a day. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so Rowan, let's start with you. What is Islandwide Beautification Day? It sounds very self-explanatory, but exactly who's involved?
Okay, so this is a major undertaking by the Office of the Governor, the Lieutenant Governor's Beautification Task Force, and we have a lot of partners within the government, including EPA and GPD, as well as other branches of government. The judiciary and the legislature are also involved, and DOE. So there's just so many players for tomorrow's Beautification Day, and we're just so happy that so many people want to participate and volunteer their time to clean up Guam.
All right, it's a wonderful campaign, and Nick, representing the EPA, it's not just a cosmetic effect, even though that's the most obvious of removing trash and unsightly materials from places and everything like that. But there really is an effect that we can see, smell, and feel when we take trash or plastics or waste and get rid of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's quality of life is affected by the trash and the litter that are all around us. Our role really is to support the volunteers and the agencies who will be picking up the trash in the high traffic areas, specifically when dealing with household hazardous waste or any unidentifiable hazardous waste that might be found along the planned routes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to make sure that the volunteers and the agencies will have some sort of a safety when handling waste out in the roadways.
All right, I want to talk about exactly what those routes are in just a moment. But Manny, I've known you for a lot of years. Yes, you are a very, very proud Guamanian. You love your island. And so your specialty, of course, and everybody at GPD is security. So we want to make sure that as the volunteers and all the members come out and help clean up Guam, because you guys are doing these on active roadways, we want to make sure that everybody does so in a safe way.
Yes, sir. There's going to be volunteers all over the island. So the precincts and the other sections, they're beefing up their personnel for tomorrow to make sure that the drivers are aware that there's people not on the road, but there's people there doing something. And I'd like to also mention that I did invite the University of Guam also and Project Foresight. That's my baby there. To assist us in this.
We have our first challenge.
Yeah, to assist us in the cleanup. So I gave them all the documentation that they needed. Hopefully they have some representation out there. Oh. But like I said, we're going to be out there, and this is a word of advice for those of you that did, for some reason, do some illegal dumping. If we find some trash, and we're going to go into it. If we find some identifying information, we're going to come to you. So you should, starting tonight, go back to those areas that you dumped and pick up your trash before we get to it.
And that is point blank and personal, looking directly into the camera. And that's the man that's a former heavyweight champ right there. So you know he's for real. Okay. And like Manny was just saying, this isn't just let's 40 people, let's go meet up at Chalan Santo Papa or like right next to GMH or anything like that. This happens all over the island because there's so many places that need help. Rowan, tell us what are some of the places that we can volunteer and we can help out.
Okay. Almost every village is affected. We're going along the main route, starting from Route 1, Jigo, and around Route 3 from NCS, coming down Dedido to Muning, Route 1, going all the way down to Agate, Route 2 around Marito, back to Jotnya, and then Route 10, and then Route 16.
And this is all going on at the same time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this isn't like a snake where you follow the path. These are all different teams that are all working at the same time.
Yes, so we're starting at showtime at 7 o'clock. Everyone's supposed to start at around 8 o'clock, depending on the number of people that are already there. And hopefully go until around noon or 1 o'clock.
Okay, so what should I bring if I'd like to volunteer? Because I'm assuming I can, give my mayor a call, or I can, go online and check the governor's office, and I want to find out how to help out. But should I bring gloves? Should I bring rakes and stuff like that? What do I need to pack?
Well, the Works Foundation has provided us with our gloves and trash bags. We also have some areas that are going to be painting over graffiti and stuff like that. So all the supplies that you would need are going to be at the site. When you show up, your site leader will give you your supplies. The only thing is just bring your own water and wear, bright colored clothing and protective shoes, and we should be good to go.
And this isn't just, Nick, something that we do to exhibit civic pride and everything like that. This is also a fun activity and everything like that. So how do we keep the volunteers and the agencies, feeling good about what we're doing for the community?
Well, this is as far as litter goes, this is possibly the greatest form of outreach that can be facilitated by the governor's office in conjunction with Lieutenant Governor's Islandwide Beautification Task Force. I think just taking pride in a clean environment is, all the fun you need. And it's going to be more enjoyable where you can work in a clean area, or don't have to drive by this pile of trash that you see every so often on the way to work. So it's a feel-good thing. It puts you in a good mood. You know, so we're hoping that everybody can participate. And it's also been suggested that even if you can't make it out to volunteer, do your part at home. You know, the artwork that you know, that hadn't been done in a while. You know, and dispose of your waste, you know, through the proper disposal sites.
Don't contribute to the problem, basically.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So anything you'd like to add, Rowan? We started with you. We'll finish with you. Give the community one last plug about why they should get involved in Islandwide Beautification Day. It's a wonderful event, and hopefully the first of many.
Yes, actually this year we're having it every quarter. So we would just hope that everyone comes out to participate and send a message out to those who litter and dump illegally that this is our home and we should take pride in it. And basically that's pretty much all the reason we need.
Okay, and Manny doesn't have to say anything because if we can get a tight shot of Manny, look at that. That's the stare right there. He said, you know, if you dump that trash, pick it up tonight.
Yes, please. Because next week we will be calling you guys.
All right. No better invitation and motivation to get involved and clean up our island than that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And we'll see you tomorrow. We can't wait.
Awesome.
All right. Please stay tuned. We are back after this.
Thank you for an amazing year. This 2017, get ready for suspense, romance, drama, action. So bring on the new year. We are ready to capture more moments with you. Happy New Year from GTA.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that and I've replaced them with the white fillings and I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I have three friends in the house right now. Guam High is here. The Panthers. We have three members of the football team. Is Solomon White, a quarterback. Solomon, half a day. And Avery Fernandez in the middle, a slot receiver. Pretty much interesting position because you play slot. You're in the middle of these fine gentlemen. And Juan King Jr., tailback.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, guys, Hafaday, and welcome to the studio. Really good to have you guys representing our island and as well as your school because you guys are going to be playing in the Japan-USA friendship game. But, you know, football, it's, you know, friendship in the beginning, but then you guys are really going to bring the wood, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Solomon, let's start with you. What does it mean to be picked to play in this team, you know, to play against guys of different calibers and, you know, represent your family, your school, and your island?
So I feel like my hard work and dedication throughout the season, this is reflecting off of that. And hopefully I represent not only my school and my family, but Guam as well.
All right. So, Juan, you play in the backfield. you line up behind Solomon and everything like that. You've had a lot of success playing for Guam High. What does it mean to be able to play at the next level like this?
It's a great feeling, and it's all the hard work that I put in throughout the years, and it's just all coming to a good ending. But it's also a good starting because I'm gonna be playing the next level, so we'll be good.
All right, where are you playing next? Where are you gonna play your college ball?
I'm gonna decide that later.
Okay, very cool. Hey, at least you got your options. Okay, Avery, a lot of expected is expected of you, my friend. Very, very talented receiver. First of all, who's your favorite NFL player at the receiver spot?
Odell Beckham.
ODB?
Yep.
Okay.
OBJ.
Yeah. Do you model a lot of your game after him?
Yes. I'm not at the point where I can catch with one hand yet. Hopefully I get there soon. But as far as the way he's on the field, I like to aspire to be like him.
Okay. I was going to say, have you mastered that one-hand catch going back like you did against the Cowboys?
Only at practice, but if I do it in the game, I think coach is going to...
Yeah, Guam High coach Jacob Daldell is right there, and he's the dutiful coach is watching over. Okay, so what do you expect, to be able to go with your teammates and play, in that exhibition game, but also to be able to play with guys that play different styles of ball, and they come from different places, but you guys all love the game so much. What does that mean to you?
Well, I look forward to it, especially since Far East has been taken away from Guam High for sports, and Guam being invited to this bowl for the first time in history and having us three go. It means a lot because me staying on this island and never being exposed to that talent out there, it gives me a chance to match up my skills against people from other schools. And it gives us a chance to represent our island and our school.
Now, one of the things that, Guam High is really known for is you guys have a really good conditioning program, your diet, your weight, your training, but then Coach Daldell also makes sure that you guys stay good with your faith and with your studies. Tell me how you guys prepare in that way.
Every Saturday, every weekend, we do a Guam grind. It's a speed and agility camp where we invite the newcoming 8th graders, newcoming freshmen to get better and improve their skills for the following year.
So it's a clinic?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys run gassers with those guys?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. You got to love gassers. Okay, Avery, what is it you are hoping to play like at the next level? What are some of the schools that you would like to play for?
Well, the long-term goal is to play at University of Oregon. My uncle went there, and a lot of people I know have been there, and the football program is good there. And but as far as next year, I'm looking a little smaller, maybe Southern Utah or Eastern Washington, and hopefully I can work my way up to Division I.
All right. Well, the entire island is rooting. We're gunning for you. We want to see you in all those different duck uniforms. We want to see you representing Guam and Eugene.
Thank you very much.
All right. We're cheering for you. So, Juan, what do you do to weight train and get ready, but not so much the physical aspect, but also to get yourself mentally ready to represent Guam?
Right now I'm playing basketball, so that's probably my physical workouts every day. But I just try to keep my mind straight and make sure I'm doing the right things to make sure that I have the opportunity to play at the next level. And that means staying on top of your grades in school, choosing who you want to hang out with, the right people to hang out with. You got to surround yourself with successful people if you want to be successful. So that's the kind of mindset I look at it.
Okay, well, we're going to go down the line right now. We got to run to commercial break, unfortunately, guys. But we'll give you guys the opportunity to send a shout out to anybody watching right now, your family, your friends.
I'd like to send a shout out to my mom, my brother, and my girlfriend, Katie.
Very nice. Okay, Avery, how about you?
I'd like to send a shout out to Coach Daldell and all the other coaches that helped make this possible. My dad, my whole family, my 8 siblings, my 7 siblings, sorry, and my girlfriend, Raylene.
Very nice. And all of those U of O recruiters right now.
Yes,
guys,
U of O.
Yeah, guys, give Avery a look.
Just anywhere in Oregon.
And how about you, Juan?
Just give a shout out to my dad, my mom, my brothers, and my Nicholas family, my King family, and all the people that's been there for me since day one.
All right, very cool. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're rooting for you. Please stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back right after this commercial.
Two things come to play when talking about mobile data: price and speed. Let's look at what happens when we compare the competition against iTeeny's $80 plan. Docomo's $79 plan comes with 6 gigs. iTeeny's $80 plan comes with 20. GTA's $80 plan comes with 10 gigs. Better, but you get twice as much at iTeeny. iTeeny has the best network and the data to back it up. Get unlimited talk and text and 20 gigabytes for $80 at iTeeny. Oh, and if you bring your own device, get 40 gigs.
Tourism, it's our #1 industry. As Guam's largest employer, tourism supports 20,000 jobs. In fact, 1 out of every 3 jobs is tourism related. Annually, tourism generates over $150 million in tax revenue. Without it, every household would pay an additional $3,100 per year. From real estate to retail, tourism has a positive impact on every industry. Make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Support tourism.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist. Over 20 years of experience.
House to Home, brought to you by Remax Diamond Realty.
Welcome back, everybody. This is a continuation of last week's episode of House to Home, where we tell you, now that you've got your property properly surveyed, what can you do with it? Gina was not here last week, but she is here now in the flesh. Hello, Gina.
Hi.
Half a day. Okay, so Liz set us up with part one. We were actually out at her place, and she was saying, you know, you've got those little tiny little cute little survey dots are properly placed. You demarcate your property. From there, how do we actually go about getting a proper printout of a legally binding, I guess is the word, map and everything? And what can you do with it?
Well, in order for your surveyor to go out there, mark your boundary points and put down the rebars, okay? In order for him to do that, you must have already had a survey map recorded with the government of Guam. I always describe it to people, it's like your birth certificate. You've got to have that in place.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah, you've got to have that in place. If you don't have that, it's impossible. He wouldn't be able to mark your boundary points because you've got nothing. There is no record of that piece of property existing. So let's say you wanted to have the boundary points marked, but you don't have a copy of the map. You go down to Revenue and Bureau of Planning, and you request for a copy of that survey map. And sometimes they could look it up under your name, or if it's in an estate, maybe it's still in the family name. They could look it up under the lot number, or maybe a copy of your tax bill. Bring it down there and they'll pull the map for you. And so what can you do after that? So you have the map. Okay, it's already been recorded, or else you couldn't have had your points marked. So you have the map in place. You ask the surveyor to mark it, and that's already been done. So now you know exactly where your properties are, your lot is. You know where it starts, where it ends. Now, what was your intention to begin with? And I always tell people, recently I've been cautioning people, if you're going to go through the trouble of marking your boundary points, do something about that afterwards. Because you saw the little rebar, right? They don't normally put the concrete monuments there unless you pay extra for that. And if you're going to go through the trouble of marking your boundary points and you're not doing something immediately, so you didn't mark it because you're building your house or you're getting ready to give it to somebody else or to sell it. If you just marked it because you just wanted to know where it was, do something so you can protect those rebars. So what my husband and I did on our property is we dug around the rebar. Legally, you're not supposed to move that rebar. Nobody is supposed to mess around with that.
Liz was highly emphasizing that point.
Yeah.
Once those things are down, leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
And if you're doing construction, don't move it out of the way so you can do the construction and then put it back, because technically you never put it back in the right place. So what we did after marking our property twice and wasting money, we dug around the rebar. We got a half concrete block and we wedged it into the ground where the rebar was, and we filled it in with concrete. So the rebar it's kind of sitting there. And it was our way of protecting that marker so we wouldn't lose it, so the contractor wouldn't, bulldoze over it or just dig it out. So that's what we did. So if you've already spent the money to mark your boundary points, do something afterwards to protect it. And then let's say you marked it so you want to sell the property. That's perfect. Because I don't know if Liz got a chance to share with you. A lot of times we get a map and we get a customer who wants to sell, and that's about all we get in the beginning. And then we have to figure out a way to go find that property and get it on the market and show it to potential customers without having those identification markers.
Okay, one question about the map, if I may. When we looked at the map in your office last week with Liz, she was saying like there was certification or some sort, someone was authorizing at the bottom. If we go through like a company like Remax, or you have professional engineers who, prepare it, certify it and everything, is that enough, or does it have to also be notarized or signed off by an attorney or something like that? Or is the engineers
You mean the map itself that gets recorded?
Yeah.
So when the map is prepared, your surveyor is going to, it's the surveyor that does the certification. And when you get your boundary points marked, he also gives you a certification. So you already have a map. You hire somebody, because more likely than not, nowadays, I hire a surveyor to go mark the boundary points. It's never the same person who did the map, or it's often not the same person. So you hire the surveyor. He will give you a certificate that says that I found the boundary points and I'm certifying that the map is true and correct, and the points are marked are true and correct. But if you don't have a map yet, that's what the surveyor does. Doesn't need to be notarized. The surveyor is the one who, so he does all the calculations. He prepares the map or the birth certificate, and then he records it with land management.
All right.
The owner has to sign the map.
Well, this is why we're so lucky we have you and Liz and your colleagues come in each and every week, because this stuff is way beyond me. So we
And
do
it's a
appreciate
lot.
the info.
It's a lot. So if anybody needs additional information, they can call our office at 687-8885 is actually my number.
Fantastic.
Or Liz's number.
All right.
We can help.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. And we will see you, my friends, on the flip side of this break.